Hello, and welcome to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Copper Rock Real Estate. Commercial and residential real estate in the Mid-Willamette Valley. CopperRockRealty.com. Independent Merchant Brokers. Low-cost and no-cost debit and credit card processing. 877-460-4747. IndependentMerchantBrokers.com. Join Boson Hub Digital Development in supporting Kicking Cancer. Kicking Cancer provides support, education, and resources for cancer patients, survivors, and families. Kicking-cancer.org. More than just a home, the Arbor at Avamere Court in Kaiser. Arbor at AvamereCourt.com. Assisted living at Avamere at Albany. Avamere at Albany.com. Discover Oregon Real Estate. Tim Rist on the web at DORE.LLC. Find your people, find your home.
And now, your hosts for The Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
And Country Financial is a marvelous company. We have a new sponsor for The Experience Local, Gina Deffa-White. She is the district leader in the Willamette Valley area for Country Financial. And Gina is actively hiring financial advisors and insurance agents in South Albany, or South Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and this is a great career. I have many friends who love working at Country Financial. I encourage people, give her a call, 503-375-9670, and learn more about careers at countryfinancial.com. And definitely call Gina Deffa-White today at 503-375-9670.
Wow. Good morning, Scott. Welcome to The Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. How you doing, my friend?
You know, it's great. It's always fun to spend Monday mornings with you and a longtime friend today.
Yes, Mr. J.D. Peak. He's an amazing, amazing man, loves the Lord with all of his heart, great local business person, and just excited. And I just left up our amazing sponsors this morning because we're so thankful, and especially to Gina, new sponsorship this morning, but just thanks to all of them. What an amazing, amazing group we have. But Scott, what do you got going on this week?
Well, you know, it's a fun week. We have networking events. So I'm a part of a networking group called the Waco Networking Group. Very definitive name there. Doesn't hide anything about what we do. We meet twice a month, and on the first and third Wednesdays. And so it's always fun to get together with those folks, and ton of business going on.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I tell you, I'm looking forward to an amazing week. And oh, hey, we're getting little beeps this morning. It's just trying to tell me, guess what? Your blood sugar is low, but I'm all good. Anyway, this amazing week locally, as I am getting ready to go to the Distinguished Service Awards in Lebanon Friday. So blessed and honored to be nominated for a couple of those awards. Going to be going with my beautiful wife and daughter. And looking forward to that, and got a great Saturday event, a banquet with Kicking Cancer on Saturday. So super blessed. They're also, by the way, Kicking Cancer is also up for a DSA in Lebanon as well for the nonprofit of the year. So looking forward to that. So it's going to be a good week, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a ton of stuff going on. And I just encourage people, again, go out, support your local businesses. And, that's where jobs are happening. Lots of stuff going on in the area, and find out what's going on. Get involved with your Chamber of Commerce and support your nonprofit organizations. A lot of them in the springtime have fundraisers. They have breakfasts and lunches and gala dinners, and support them. It's just a great thing to do, and it's a lot of fun to go to those events.
It is. It is. And by the way, I was going to say, speaking of going to things, if you want more information on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, go to local.theexperience.video for all the information about all of our experience shows. We are here every Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Experience Local. And we're so thankful for our amazing guests. If you want to join our YouTube page, you can go directly to the experience.video today and subscribe today. We appreciate that, and just appreciate the amazing community of believers in business that we're able to tap into, talk about the Lord and talk about local business on Mondays. And I think we should get JD in the room and start chatting.
Yeah, Jay is just a great guy. He's just, one of the passions that we share is the early days of contemporary Christian music, those rock and roll days. So let's find out what he's got to say.
Yeah, he definitely is got some great stuff going on there. Here he is, Mr. J.D. Peak. How's it going, Jay?
Good morning, my friends. How are you?
Good to see you,
Good,
Jay.
good.
Welcome.
And I love his tag this morning. I think I'm here. You made it, JD. You made it.
I think I am.
Yes. Well, so glad to have you here. Let's just start up with the basics. Who in the world is JD Peak? What are you up to? What is your business? Tell us a little bit about your life.
Well, God is great, not just good. Okay. Give
Yeah.
him the credit every day, and things will happen for you. He is always faithful, and always look forward to spending time with him in the mornings and then later throughout the day and whatnot, and listening to his still small voice. It's very important. Very important. My mom actually probably taught me that more than anybody else. She is a prayer warrior, and I know that, Russ, you know that she's been praying for you and will continue to do that.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much.
Oh, absolutely. I've often said that prayer is the least we can do. It's also the most. Yeah. So it's, it keeps us connected, not just with God, but with others. Anyway, I was just thinking about this yesterday. As a matter of fact, I have been in the electronic security industry now for 21 years.
Wow.
I'm an old timer, guys. I'm an old timer. Oh my goodness. Both of the companies I've worked for have been in Albany, which is where I am now. Been with the company I'm at now, Professional Security Alarm, for I think just over 10 years, maybe 11, something like that. I'm a outside sales consultant, so I design alarm systems, camera surveillance systems, that kind of stuff. Been doing it a long time. Always happy to help folks that even if you just have some questions about the system you have, or thinking about getting one or something like that, always happy to help, and there's no obligation for me to come take a look.
We may talk about some of these things here in a moment, but I want to jump back to, I mentioned contemporary Christian music back in the 70s, when things were changing in the music world for Christian music. But also, you're a vintage gear guy. And back behind me, you can't see, I have a 1977 Pioneer reel-to-reel tape deck that I inherited from my father. And
nice.
But tell us a little bit about some of your music passion.
Oh boy, it started when I was just a kid, like 8, 9, 10 years old. I used to actually listen to, I lived in Philomath, Oregon at the time, and I used to listen on my old console radio setup that an aunt gave me. So I think it was from the 50s or 60s. And used to listen to Wolfman Jack and Dr. Demento on AM skip wave.
I remember both of those. Yeah.
I know, you know what?
Jack,
yeah. And I really enjoyed that. I listened to all the local radio stuff that I could possibly listen to. KFLY AM, eventually FM, KGAL over in Lebanon. They actually had a show in the 70s called Bobby Sox and Blue Jeans, which was late 50s, early 70s or 60s stuff. But anyway, yeah,
people have been around may remember when the K-Fly studios were in downtown Corvallis, above the candy shop, above Burst's Candy.
Yep.
And I remember they had a drive to people to bring in egg cartons, right? Those dozen eggs, and they were using them to treat the sound give a sound treatment to the studio upstairs there. And so people are going out and spending thousands of dollars on stuff. Well, I guess now it's thousands of dollars to buy enough eggs. So you're not saving any money there. But anyway, that was back in the 70s. So good to hear these stories, Jay. So you were listening to the music.
Oh yeah. And also, since you mentioned the original KFLY studios, I interned there from January through June of 78 when I was a senior in high school. I only had to go to school half time then, and so I interned at those studios upstairs. It was hilarious, by the way, to watch the AM DJs with only 2.5 or 3.5 minutes on their little 45 RPM records they were playing on the AM side of the station, come out of the AM studio, fly through the office area, and then into the FM studio and flip the album over that they were playing on the FM side so they could play side 2, and then dash back into the AM studio and lickety split so they wouldn't miss their next cue or something. That was hilarious to watch. But they were really good at it too. You had to be.
I think that technology has made it much easier on DJs for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back in the day when Scott and I were at Oregon State, and I did some a little bit of radio work with a friend. And so it was interesting to, very, very.
Russ, did you do work at KBVR, the college radio?
Yeah, actually, I did some TV work at KBVR, but the radio work was in his underground radio station that he created. Yes, they're broadcasting Corvallis.
Well, there you go. I was a DJ. I was a jazz DJ at KBVR way back in the early 80s.
Yeah, it's been quite a change. But I tell you, JD, you're right. God is good, and that is so important to everything that you're about and all of your interactions with people. You and I see each other most weeks. It's been a little rough for me lately and haven't been out as much, but yes, we run into each other quite often out in networking events, community events. How does the Lord affect your business and your community involvement, and why is that so important?
Well, we're commanded in the scriptures to love God and love others above yourself. So that's kind of the, philosophy, if you want to call it that I've always followed. I just really totally enjoy helping people. It doesn't matter, just little things can make somebody's day. Nobody else was nice to him that day or something, and you smile or shake their hand, say hi, is there anything I can help you with, or just jump right in and do something. If you see them struggling with something, grab what they're carrying and help them, or whatever the case might be. But that's just kind of how I like to operate and share God's love in that way. So my grandfather was a lot like that too, so I picked up a lot of that from him when I was little. But and my mom, and my mom's got my sense of humor, or should I say it the other way around?
I love that picture of your mom you sent me the other night. What a blessing she has been to me and my family, and praying for me, and I appreciate that. I just think that you have been a shining example, Jay, to so many. And I mean, we have known each other many, many, many years now. It goes way back. And I think we first met at the Corvallis Chamber, actually. And what a blessing it has been for me. That's something that you, Scott, and I all have in common, is the Corvallis Chamber of Commerce. And, I have found that what I see from others and what others say about you, it's so important when you're lifting up God and you're shining through your business and what people think about you. And that's what people think very highly of you and all that you're doing. And so I know that reflects positively on on professional security alarms that you're doing. Talk a little bit more about what you can do for people. They want a security alarm and they don't know what to do. They call JD. Give us a little run through.
Well, I just start asking questions basically, to find out what their needs are instead of, oh, I've got this package to sell you, that kind of thing. And I don't have any quotas I have to meet. So that helps me to just kind of relax and not have to be pushy and, thankfully, and that kind of thing. And, then I'm always happy to go meet with them and take a look at their situation, because everybody's different and everybody's home is, different and different needs and different ways of doing things and things like that. So I kind of try my best to kind of tailor as much as I can, tailor each alarm system or camera surveillance system to their exact needs so that they get the most bang for their buck, so to speak, and get a system they can rely on and it's high quality and will give them the peace of mind that they're looking for with electronic security systems.
And I just want to know, how has the introduction of some of these home-based cameras, like the doorbell ones, right? The ones that are on the door, how have those changed your business?
Actually, I kind of think it's enhanced our business because we do high-end stuff. So, there's obviously a cost for that, for high quality systems. And then there's the Ring cameras and the other, cameras that are similar, which gives folks another layer of security, basically. So, if they have those and then they maybe have an alarm system installed or cameras that we install that are more high quality and have better night vision and different things along those lines, then, hey, more power to them, I just remembered back to one time, the first Ring doorbell I ever rang to go visit a client. The husband answered the doorbell, so to speak, and then told me that he was at work like 80 miles away or something. But he said, "Oh, but my wife should be there, so I'll call her and let her know that you're at the door." So, if it gives people that kind of, thing, then yeah, get them. And the Ring cameras and that kind of stuff, they're less expensive and easy to put up and that kind of thing. And in fact, we just put up a light at my mom's house for her front porch because her front porch light wasn't working, and it's wireless and it only costs like $10. And we didn't have to get
that's what I was thinking, Jay. I was thinking that the proliferation of these home cameras, right? The Ring, the doorbell ones that people can set up themselves, get people used to having these kinds of things. So when they really have a need, right?
Right.
And whether you're in the city or whether you're in the country, whether you have a business or not, there's just a lot of opportunity for mischief. and this helps eliminate that helps mitigate this.
Yeah.
Well, hey JD, I wanted to jump in and say, I think that this community, local community, is so important. That's one thing that we focus in on this show. And what we're talking about now and just your care for others and what's really important for them, I think is why you've been so successful and God has really used you to touch other people's lives. But, talk about how important, not just the Chamber of Commerce, but local community is in business and why it's so important to support your local economy. I mean, our global economy is awesome. It's amazing to be able to talk to people all over the world. But when we're focused locally, it makes a big difference. And it starts here and then spreads everywhere. So talk a little bit about the importance of that to you.
It's critically important. And it's been so much fun over the last 20 some years of building those relationships with people like you and Scott and so many others, hundreds of people, especially through the Chamber of Commerce, but just in business in general and stuff, and getting to know people and helping in any way that you can and that sort of stuff. It builds the local community, and it's doing what Christ, taught us to do in the scriptures, is to help others and help them be successful. And the old adage, when you're successful, we're successful. And it just builds on that, and it just goes and goes and goes. And then also, once you get to really know others and know that they're going to take care of anyone that you might refer them to because of their principles and scruples, they're going to be honest, they're going to be dependable, they're going to get the job done and follow up and all that sort of stuff. Then it makes it so easy to refer people, our friends, to other people. And that continues the ripple effect basically throughout our local community, and then across the state, maybe across state lines, around the world, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So today's guest, we've got JP, and he is a professional in electronic security and just a great Christian brother. And Jay, I just want to talk to you about integrating your faith with work and life and all, because in many cases we tend to separate those, and we tend to not be active, I'll say, in expressing our faith in the workplace. Can you tell us about your journey in that?
It is that. It's a journey, and you got to start somewhere in order to start the journey. And praise the Lord, I've always been open about who I am and the fact that I am a Christian. I am a Christ follower. Don't just say I'm a Christian, but try to live it out, as they say, and just do the best that I can in that regard, and continue the journey. Try to improve. Try to spend more time in the Scripture. Spend more time in prayer. Spend more time helping others. Just taking care of things, and it is a journey, and it's going to end at some point. But when it does, we'll be in glory. So everything's hunky dory.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love what you're saying there, JD, because life is a journey, and I have always been a huge proponent of not separating things, because it's who I am, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if someone talks to me, I think you know this from experience. If someone talks to me, JD, I think they're going to come out of the conversation knowing I love Jesus. I just, God's going to come out naturally. And I think inhibiting that and not intentionally embracing that is not what we're supposed to do, number one, but it's not really good for you, because you should not be inhibiting who you really are, whether you're a Christ follower or whether you're just a good person that likes to be kind and encourage people, whether you're the kind of person that likes to reach out and give to people and support people, whatever kind of person you are, whatever your God-given abilities are, I think those should shine, because that's when we shine for the Lord. And people don't realize, whether it's with your family, your friends, your community, whatever, God uses you to do just amazing things. And Amen. So, yeah. And so that is really important, I think. Yeah. So I just want to say that this is one thing that I love about you. So talk a little bit about that one more time, and why that's so important to just be who you are, because I think authenticity is so important nowadays.
Very much so. Yeah. Especially within our fake world, with all the different social media and whatnot. In fact, our lead pastor was talking about that last Sunday, and actually called Facebook fake book. And it's really true. We feel like we're more connected, but are we? Really?
Yeah.
And I got to be honest here. I spend a lot of time on Facebook, but I love it. I love sharing the music that I collect and the stereo stuff I collect, like you guys have seen, and got another pair of great big nice speakers last weekend, but got them hooked up last night. It wasn't any fun hauling them anywhere because they weigh a ton, but that's kind of what I'm about. Scott, like Scott, you were saying, I just love music. I mean, it's like the thing I live for, other than the Lord and family. In fact, just a little sidebar, Scott, Christian rock, most people don't know this or realize it, but the very first, the most consensus on the very first Christian band was in England in 1965. They were called the Pilgrims, and they had a sound a lot like the Yardbirds from that particular time period. So more blues rock kind of a sound, but it's really good stuff. I've got their CD, thankfully. Maybe someday I'll get to play it on the air again, because I have worked in radio broadcasting. I actually worked at Hope FM back in the 90s 2 different times, and actually Quill back then, KWYL AM 790, was an automated station with great big reel-to-reel tapes that were a monster to keep track of and make sure that the AM station stayed on the air.
Yeah, like a one inch tape.
No, they were
3/4 inch,
like 18. Well, yeah, widthwise, yeah, but
widthwise,
the reels themselves were like 18 or 20 inches big.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so that kind of harkens back to my old KFLY experience. Having to run back and forth between the 2 studios to make sure that you're still live on the air on the FM side, but the AM's still going.
There's God really made music like nothing else, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you tell us a joke and then I start to repeat it, Russ is going to say, "Come on, Scott, Jay told that one already." But we'll listen to the same song 4 or 5 times a day and sing along with it every time.
Right.
Yeah.
And so let's just talk about the importance of music in expressing your faith.
In the 2 minutes we have left.
We are winding down.
I wondered when the clock was running out. Not that I've worked in radio and understand clocks, but and it's a pleasure to be on here, by the way, and to be broadcasting on KWYL AM 790. We'll give them a plug. I'm actually hoping to maybe someday do a Christian rock show on Hope FM. That's my hope. I've got a plan. I've got it all laid out, the name of the show and so on and so forth, to help spread the word of God through rock and roll music that a lot of folks haven't heard before, because there aren't really any Christian rock radio stations. They're all playing what I call Pop 30, it's the fare of the day, so to speak. And it does speak to people, and I sing along too, but I love me some rock and roll.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about that, JD, because you know so much about all of that, and can't wait for the time you do that. But today we're wrapping things up. So thank you for being our guest today. Mr. JD Peak with Professional Security Alarms has been with us, a great man of God. And give us how people get in touch with you, JD.
They could email me at jay@prosecurityalarm.com. Or they could call us at 541-967-8114. I've never said that before.
And all that is showing up in the comments, is in the show notes, but also it's been ticking along the bottom of the screen as we talk today. And JD, thanks so much for being with us today. We appreciate you. We're going to say goodbye. Hang tight in the green room for just a second, but we will we'll see you soon. But thanks for being a blessing and being on today.
Great to see you, Jay.
Thank you for having me here, guys. Have a great day.
Well, it's always fun to reminisce a bit with a believer, and that's just fun.
Yeah, it is. JD is such an amazing person. So I really appreciate JD being on today. Everybody needs to reach out to him. He is such a great person. The information is ticking along the bottom. It's in the comments, show notes. But for today, we're wrapping it up. We're so thankful that you've all been with us. Praying that you have a blessed and amazing week. Don't forget, we're here at 9 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Texas Standard Time every week on the Experience Local. Until next week, have a blessed week and enjoy the experience
locally.
All right. See you, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to the Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on The Experience Local with Russ and Scott.